that's way bright. Let's put that. There we go. I'll play that little clip, too, about crime in Chicago, because it works, you know? We got Andy in there yet? I guess so.
Yeah, checking in with Andy.
All right. Your mic is live, too, by the way. Hey, guys, how you doing? Make sure we got good streams today. Yesterday was a cluster. Beyond our control, but nonetheless, a cluster.
$30.
Dare you say?
Uh-huh.
This is Armed American Radio's Daily Defense.
Armed American Radio's Daily Defense, because they don't want me to, that's why I do it.
Presented by the National Rifle Association. From the CZ Studios.
They're never going to stop us here.
Here is your host, the loudest conservative voice in America fighting the enemies of freedom, Mark Walters.
Welcome in, guys. Armed American Radio's Daily Defense begins right now from the CZ Studios. Of course, it's all brought to you every day by the National Rifle Association. I hope you've joined them or renewed. We'll talk about that during the hour. Again, welcome in. We're going to fill your prescription for freedom today and every day here from the CZ Studios. And Patriot Mobile Command Center lit up for you. Greg, we're on all platforms. Facebook.com live. You can check us out there. We'll have the camera up here for you in just a second. Right now you got the spinning logo. We'll get to that briefly. Greg, I'll let you tell people where to go and do all that, and then we'll get cracking with Andy Hooser, the voice of reason.
Yeah, like Mark said, we're up on all platforms, so you can watch the show over at YouTube and Rumble. Just search for Armed American Radio with Mark Walters over there. At X, we're at AAR Mark. You can head over to armedamericanradio.org or .com, hit that menu icon, then select your watch live or listen live option. To join our live chat, just download Telegram, create your profile, and search for Armed American Radio Conversations.
Yes, you can do that. So, Andy Hooser, the voice of reason, let's just get started. Jump in. That's why you're here. How you doing?
What's up, man? Yeah. Happy Monday, brother. Welcome back in. Yeah, it's start a whole new week. Yeah, greatest day of the week. It's cooler here in Wichita, so I am happy. It's been rainy. It's 70 degrees, so it's not 90. I think it's a great start to a Monday, so I'm okay with that. And by the way, thank you for the fill-in on the show on Saturday.
Yeah.
That was awesome, so we appreciate that. And yeah, rocking and rolling.
I'm tired. You just want to keep going? Have at it. I'll listen and jump in when I feel like chiming in. So I just got a text message from Cam Edwards moments ago. Hey man, I had the opportunity to have Alan Beck on the show today, but would love to do a Tuesday with Mark tomorrow if you're free. So ladies and gentlemen, you hear that in real time. I read that for you in real time. We'll be doing Cam and Company tomorrow. The answer to that, of course. And let me just respond to him now. Yes, of course, brother. Yes, of course, bro. There you go. So we're going to do Cam and Company tomorrow. That's always fun to do. So, guys, this is kind of fun. What I'm going to tell you now is kind of fun. And, did you happen to catch the press briefing today with Carolyn Levitt?
I have heard part of it. I've not finished it. So, yes. I mean, it's wild, man. Watching Caroline Levitt, watching Mike Johnson hold a press conference today, government shutdown, day 4.0. So, yeah, it's fun.
So I'm going to play a clip from that as I mess with these production screens. I want to play a clip from that today because this is interesting. I found it a lot of fun, so fun that I made an immediate phone call and stopped the press conference on my television set, paused it, took a photo of it, and then went back and recorded it on I was going to say on film. On my phone, which is not film, I guess, anymore. Andy Hooser, the voice of reason. We don't have film anymore, do we? But take a listen to what she had to say. Here, let's play this before you get I'll do old school.
Country that their mayors are just simply refusing to cooperate because they don't like Donald Trump. And that's what this boils down to. And I don't think any American would disagree that Chicago needs more law enforcement reinforcements, that they need more resources. Look at this headline from over the weekend. At least 30 people shot during the weekend in Democrat-run Chicago. 5 of them were killed in one weekend. This is completely unacceptable, and the president wants to make American cities safer, and he's willing to work with anyone to do it.
So the report that she held up was AWR Hawkins' Breitbart News report yesterday or today, but that was his report, and that was his headline. So I found that was very cool that the White House is monitoring AWR Hawkins' writings, particularly as it comes to Chicago crime, out of control. How many tens of thousands of shootings have we covered on this program over the years? Whew. Let me put it this way. I wish I had a $5 bill for every shooting we've covered, Andy, in 17 years on this broadcast. I'd be a rich man. But I found that to be rather interesting. So the White House is, in fact, monitoring AWR's writings. And I guess I'm not shocked by that. Both AWR and I know Carolyn. And so it was just one of that was a coolness factor to that, Andy. That was a coolness factor.
Yeah. Yeah, that is a coolness factor. But you're right. I mean, look, every time you come up on a Monday, you talk about the number of shootings that happened, and you always use Chicago as that example. How many shootings happened in Chicago over the weekend, because that's where it all happens. So what these mayors, and by the way, Mayor Brandon Johnson coming out and now signing an executive order as the mayor, saying that they are creating ICE-free zones, saying that they're going to ban ICE from certain areas. So essentially, Mark, you have now a city that says, no, we want the crime to continue. Yeah. We want illegal aliens to continue. We want cartels to continue. We want illegal guns in the streets. We want illegal drugs in the streets. We want human trafficking in our streets. We want this stuff. Federal government, stay out, stay in your own lane, leave us alone, because we don't want all this. We want the crime to continue. And I mean, look, we've already been seeing the unraveling and the destruction of the Democrat Party. This is going to be, in my opinion, now the straw that breaks the camel's back. This issue, if they go actively, militantly like they are right now, going against actually stopping crime and working with ICE, this is going to be their demise, because every poll shows that when Donald Trump won the election last year, this was one of the major issues that they wanted Donald Trump to fix, and they're not letting him fix it. And in fact, they're actively fighting against it, even physically in some aspects. This is absolutely insane.
There's the content for the show, ladies and gentlemen. So I want to let you know, Andy, that this is where we're going to focus today, because this is nothing short of anarchy in American cities. That's simple. When you have leaders, well, first let me go. I did pull the update on Chicago numbers. Let's go here. I made mention last night on Armed American Radio on the Monster Cast that the numbers would go higher, and they did. It's easy to predict. 26 wounded, 7 killed. So it's not just 5. Caroline was reading AWR's piece at the press briefing from yesterday, and the numbers are up. Now, there are more today that have not been reported because I only have weekend numbers. But, Andy, they don't stop shooting each other during the week. They don't take breaks. Criminals don't just, okay, guys, it's weekend, let's go out and kill each other. No, it happens Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday as well. Andy Hooser, the voice of reason. It doesn't stop. it's Sunday at midnight. Gosh darn it, I was going to kill that guy. I'll wait till next week. That doesn't happen. Said no criminal ever, never, ever. Okay, so the numbers are just staggering in Chicago. Where are they year to date right now? 294 shot and killed, 1,286 shot and wounded. A total shot 1,580. Let's play the theater of the mind, Andy, and we're going to go into everything you just talked about with not only there but in California with Portland and everything else. Because I have some predictions, and they might sound a little crazy, but crazier things have happened. Theater of the mind. Let's just try this, Andy. I want you to picture a venue. I've asked you to do this before. Don't do this while you're driving, please. I mean, you can in your mind's eye, but please pay attention to the road. I want you to picture a venue that you attend on a regular basis that would hold 1,580 people. Picture that in your mind. And now know that's how many people have been shot in Chicago through October 6th. Hooser.
That's insane.
That is insane when you put it in that perspective. Absolutely
and they're okay
incredible.
with it.
And they seem to be okay with it.
Yeah.
Well, I guess that begs this question. Are they okay with it? Really? I mean, let's go here. Look, let's first talk about the anarchy involved here. You have paid agitators. These people are paid, ladies and gentlemen. Part of what that was discussed at the White House press briefing today as well. They are investigating, and she made it a point that they are investigating it, like deeply investigating it right now, where their money's coming from. And you know it's going to be traced back to Soros. Now, he might be smart enough to have washed and laundered that multiple times over. But there's no doubt in my mind that that money is coming from somebody like a Soros. Now, are they going to be able to track it every dime back to him, Andy? I don't know. It might be a wise prediction to say probably not. I think he's, but they'll know. They'll know. But they're looking at RICO charges and everything else on this. You know, this is literal anarchy in American streets, Andy.
30.
Well, not only that, it goes beyond just anarchy. I mean, now we have, and you're right, they need to trace the money. They need to go for the RICO cases against George Soros and whoever else is funding this, because it's been taken to another level. This has now become political hits against ICE agents. There are $10,000 bounties to kill an ICE agent and actually have a $10,000 reward. There's no way that these crazy Antifa members, these anarchists that are in their mom's basements, have $10,000 to cash out for anyone who kills an ICE agent. That is big money coming from somewhere, so we have to be able to trace that kind of money. It's a whole nother level right now.
Yeah, we're going to go into it when we come back. Andy Hooser, the voice of reason, is with me for the hour. Buckle in, please. It's going to fly right by, even though it's a Monday, which is weirdly Andy's, and not just a Monday. I don't mind Mondays either. But Andy loves like crappy weather Mondays, and it's apparently a crappy weather Monday, and he loves it. We'll be right back with Andy Hooser. Guys, we're on a network break. We'll be back at 21 after. Back live with you, anyway, at 21 after. Greg, mics are live, just letting you know. Roger that. Mics are up. My GUI's fluctuating on you at all?
So what?
My GUI's fluctuating on you at all, or we look solid?
He looks solid over here.
Okay. I see a few downturns in the receive rate. It's on my end. Transmit rate is solid.
The following segment of Armed American Radio's Daily Defense is being brought to you by Patriot Mobile. Visit patriotmobile.com/AAR and use the AAR promo code to get free activation today. Welcome back to the show.
Yes, welcome back to the show indeed. Mark Walters filling your prescription for freedom today and every day here in the CZ studios, all brought to you by the National Rifle Association. Please join them or rejoin them if you have not done that yet. Just get off the fence and do it. It's $35. That's all I'm asking you to do. 1 year membership, $35. We're going to send you a free range bag. If you go for the 3 years, you're going to get the free range bag. If you go 5 years or life membership, which many of you have, I got some emails just yesterday and today, actually, from those who were saying, when is the bag going to ship and all that. It takes a few weeks to get them out. They're a bit overwhelmed right now. But nonetheless, you will get the free range bag for the 1 to 3 membership, and the 5 year or life membership will get you the 10x42 binoculars. Please take advantage of that and join us. When you hear these conversations, I want you to picture and think about, particularly when we're talking about Chicago and the carnage and what is going on behind the blue wall and their deep, deep, deep hatred, not just of you, but apparently of this country. It is truly mind-boggling, and it's the National Rifle Association that is the front of the spear with all of the other organizations, included Second Amendment Foundation, Firearms Policy Coalition, and many others, and your states' rights organizations that help us advance our rights and our freedoms in the face of this just unbelievable onslaught from the American left. It's about all I can tell you, and it's simple to do. It's nra.org/AAR. Take advantage of that. Please join. Get off the fence and do that. We need your help in this fight. It is critical. It is absolutely mission critical. Andy Hooser, the voice of reason. Welcome back, brother.
Good times.
So I've got a few talking points here. I was writing down when you were talking in the previous segment. When you hear the Chicago mayor, the Portland mayor, the governor of California celebrating what I can't, I'm speechless over this, that you have American governors and mayors, Pritzker, another prime example, Andy, that are celebrating anarchy We're going to tie this into the Virginia Democrat and the text messages. This guy won't get out of the race for Virginia Attorney General after calling for bullets in the heads of his opponent and their kids.
Yep.
All right, so that begs this question. I'm going to assume that Jeffries and Schumer are okay with all of this because none of them are speaking out about this. None of them.
Well, yeah, their silence is deafening. This is an entirely different Democrat Party, and we have to be very clear, which is why what you talk about with the Second Amendment and self-defense right now is more important than ever. These individuals, by their silence, condone political violence as a way for a response because they are so ingrained. The TDS, the Trump derangement syndrome, is running so rampant right now. It is coming to a dangerous level. And I told you, and we talked about it back in January, Mark, when we had protesters in the streets just weeks after the election that happened in November, that December, January, here in Wichita, Kansas, we had protesters in downtown Wichita every single Saturday, and I believe they're still going on every single Saturday since the election last year, where they continue on, and they've had the decapitated heads of Trump they carry around. They had their signs that say 8647, and I said back then, and we talked about it, was if they're that angry now, what will they look like in a year from now?
Oh, no, not
in 3 years from now,
3 years
into the administration.
3 more years of this, Andy. 3 more years.
That's exactly it. We are 8 months into an administration, and we've had a political assassination. Now have look. This is where the rubber's hitting the road, Mark. We have now violence in the streets pushing back against a Trump administration militantly with $10,000 bounties for the heads of ICE members. For Portland, that is now openly advocated for violence against ICE members. For Chicago, having violence against them. For political, when 24% of those that identify as liberal in this nation say that political violence and killing is a viable and reasonable response to someone with a different political identity, we've been scared about this. We've been concerned about when this would finally come to and boil itself to the surface in society. It's here. I believe it is here, and they're finally pushing back. And the question is, will we be able to suppress it, and will the government be able to do something about it?
That's a great question. No and yes. All right. We're not going to be able to stop it. Now, okay, I'm not going to go down this road yet. I will quote Tim Young, the comedian who was on my show months back. And he said, Mark, the American left had better be very, very happy that the American right to this point has chosen not to act.
Yes.
And that's a true statement. But it's a frightening statement, but very true. Now, if that day ever comes, ladies and gentlemen, life as you know it will never be the same in this country ever again. Ever again.
Exactly.
And
that's right.
You don't want it to happen. You don't want it to happen. I hear a lot of talk, a lot of bravado, a lot of machismo. Man, let's just get this up. No.
Right.
Okay.
No.
This you want a national divorce before something like that happens. Now, it appears, Andy, that the left is vying for that. I'm fine with that. I'm absolutely fine with that. Put a wall around every state they want to keep blue. I have no problem with that whatsoever. Give people a year to get the hell out if they want to. I don't have a problem with that. I don't want it to happen. But I'd rather have that happen than the alternative.
Well, and here's the positive news, Mark, and I'm optimistic about this, is that you're right. There are 2 different ways to respond to this. One of them is not going to end well, and that's when you and I and everybody says, finally, we've had enough is enough, and we're going to stand up and take care of it ourselves because we're tired of the violence in the streets. Yeah. We're tired of the anarchy. We're tired of these people trying to essentially overthrow our constitutional republic,
our way of
whatever
life.
Term you want to use. Our way of life. Exactly. That is what we do not want, and we are not to that point yet, and that is a very good thing because, like you said, it would be an entirely different world. What we are seeing right now, however, is the spark on their side trying to ignite this fire, but Donald Trump, thank God, with his leadership, with Kristi Noem, with Pam Bondi, with Kash Patel, with these law enforcement agencies who are dealing with it on their own. And while morale right now may be waffling with ICE agents because they're being pummeled left and right, if we're able to, what we're seeing with some of the video when people spit in the faces of an ICE agent for us to just take them down and arrest them, and start cleaning this up, if we are able to go after George Soros and the money behind all this, if we're able to do it through a law enforcement agency to stifle this out now, we're going to be in a way better position to where if they get overrun and out of hand, and we finally have to step in and do it ourselves as American citizens.
You know, you bring up a number of good points. You always do. And now I wish we had another 2 hours. I really do, because so many things that you just mentioned. Let's just unpack a little bit of that. Thank God for Donald Trump's leadership right now, but I will disagree with you on one point that you just said. I don't think morale is bad at all. In fact, I'll take this to the break. We'll bring it back when we come back after the network break, guys. But I don't think morale is down. Applications for those positions at Border Patrol and ICE are going through the roof. These guys and dames are in it to win it, brother. They're not afraid of a bunch of anarchists in Portland, Oregon. Not at all. Not at all. I don't think they are. And God bless each and every one of them. That's why they're there doing their jobs, and they're actually having fun. I bet they're chomping at the bit. They're not going, oh, God, I don't want to go into Chicago. I'm scared. No. It's the other way around. But when we come back, the political response from the local leaders as this nonsense anarchy continues to unfold. We'll talk that with Andy Hooser, the voice of reason, when we come back. Don't go away. Guys, we'll be back for you at 34 minutes after the hour. This is a local station break on the national broadcast where your radio station affiliates around the country are running their 4-minute local break. Fun how all of that stuff works, don't you know? Guys, if you missed yesterday's show, make sure to check it out. Jared Yanis was phenomenal on the program last night, and I can't wait to bring him back on a fairly regular basis, mind you. Of course, Jared from Guns and Gadgets. And I hated it last night. We had problems that were beyond our control relative to the live video stream, unfortunately, because he brought a lot of viewers to the table, et cetera, with his huge YouTube following, and we were unable to provide that, and I was not happy about that, and I let a few people know that today. Needless to say, they made some pretty rapid phone calls. But it doesn't get us last night back, does it?
All right.
Ask me how many sugar-free Red Bulls I had today, Greg. Listeners, you can play along too. Just wonder. Greg is working behind the scenes. Three. There's your answer.
$30.
All right. Buckle in, guys. Bottom half's going to fly. Cameras are up. Mics are on.
The following segment of Armed American Radio is proudly being brought to you by the National Rifle Association. Help us defend freedom by visiting nra.org/AAR and join today. Welcome back to the show.
Yeah, need you to do that, guys. Need you to do that. Need you to join the National Rifle Association. Help us get up much quicker than we would have over the last few years. We're a mess at the NRA. I readily admit that, as does the NRA. You've heard them on the show talk about it. Management is the real deal at the National Rifle Association right now. So please join, and more importantly, rejoin us. If you've never been a member, join us. Get on the ball with us. Get in the pool. The water's warm, okay? If you've let that membership lapse, I did, accidentally, but I did. Caught that and re-up for another 5 years. And I want you to do the same thing. It's so important to our mission moving forward. We have to have you on board. This is how we get back to fighting and winning while we have our foot on the gas. And just listen to the rest of this conversation today about what's going on in these blue states, and you'll know. You already know, but we're going to continue to talk about this and continue to jump on this, because what's happening on American streets and American cities and what's happened to the Democrat Party, incredibly dangerous. And you need to be really concerned about your own personal safety now, more so than ever before. And that's where the National Rifle Association comes in, fighting for your Second Amendment rights. Please join us or rejoin us. We're going to send you the range bag or the binoculars. NRA.org/AAR. And you can find all of our other great partners at armedamericanradio.com. We'll talk about more of them in the next few minutes as well. Andy Hooser, the voice of reason. Welcome back to the CZ Studios with me, brother, here on the Patriot Mobile. Mike, you know Patriot Mobile well. Gotta love Patriot Mobile, bro.
Absolutely. Great stuff.
It is. And you know what? Well, let's even throw your promo code out today. We want people to join up with Patriot Mobile. What is your promo code so people can use your code? Guys, step up with who you do business with. That's how we fight this. Andy.
That's right. Yeah. Very simple. For mine, it's just reason. You know, the show, The Voice of Reason, it is just Reason, REASON, patriotmobile.com/reason, and you can find my promo code. And I believe we have the same perks that we do with yours if you use your promo code, Mark, with AAR. So either way, like you said, I mean, you're doing the normal thing, which is you're using your cell phone, you're using your daily activities, using the daily equipment. Why not do it with a company that helps support the same values that you have? And Patriot Mobile, I know you talk about them a lot and you interview them quite a bit on the program. They do a really great job of investing and donating to a lot of charitable organizations,
yes,
which even with people that, you know, agree with us politically and kind of do things, they, you know, a lot of them aren't as engaged and active as what Patriot Mobile is. So that's why I really enjoy working with those guys.
Yeah, and your promo code's long. If you don't want to type that much, you can just use AAR. It's easier. 2 A's and 1 R.
That's right.
You know, the R is
That's
pretty
right.
close to the A. You don't have to be all over the keyboard, because to type yours, you got to go like backwards in the QWERTY keyboard, right? R-E.
It's all over the place.
The O's all over there. Then you got to go back to the left to the S, and then back over to the bottom right for the end. Just use 2 A's and an R. You can do that. Take your pick, ladies and gentlemen.
That's
We're
right.
just funning with you.
Well, I thought it would be
is
cheaper than
Patriot
the
Mobile.
Voice of Reason, right?
Yeah, they probably felt that way too, I'm sure. Andy, let's talk about some political leadership in these cities, and let's talk about. And I want to tie this in with Virginia, the AG candidate, who is refusing to bow out, by the way, which is just mind-numbing to me. That this person, where's your humanity? You've been busted, and you don't have the gonads. Read the room, bro. You don't have the gonads to get out here. That's a problem. That says an awful lot about that scumbag, and that person's a scumbag. All right, but let's tie all this together, because it all ties back to the top of the Democrat Party, the machine. The far left has got such a grip on the Democrat Party right now, and you were right at the outset of the broadcast. This is not today's Democrat Party is not anything you've ever seen before, ladies and gentlemen. This party is now very dangerous. They appear to be actively engaging in political violence. They are very well aware of what their rhetoric is doing. They know it. They've been warned to stop it. They refuse. In fact, they're doubling and tripling down, Andy. They're ramping it back up. I'm going to give you an example of this real quick. I put a headline on, I took a screen grab off of Drudge, that coward, traitor, loser, lunatic over there at Drudge Report, because it's fun. But my post said, this right here, guys and dames, this is the leftist rhetoric causing so many problems. Spinning up trouble every day with these malicious headlines. Trump invades Illinois was the headline, Andy. Trump invades Illinois. Russia invaded Ukraine, ladies and gentlemen. That's an invasion. Biden allowed an invasion at our southern border. Think millions of illegal invaders. That could also be called an invasion. Sending in law enforcement personnel in the form of ICE to stop crime in cities is not an invasion. It's the responsibility of the federal government, who is trying to squash the crime and criminal invasion that the previous administration willfully, wantonly, blatantly invited, Andy.
Yes.
And again, I'm going to go back. I love having you on this program because you're so spot on. At the outset of the show, you mentioned this. And I think it's very, very important for people to understand exactly what's happening. And where I'm going with this, Andy, is when you brought up, that the Democrats have dug their heels in. So I'll use this phrase. This is the hill they're apparently wanting to die on.
Yeah.
And it's a huge mistake. And here was the bold prediction. I said that might very well come true. You are going to see some of these cities turn against these blue leaders. There's a huge movement already underway in Chicago. Black Democrat voters have had enough of what's going on in that city with crime. We gave you the numbers at the outset. Carolyn Levitt read them right off AWR's work. Just Chicago this past weekend. The residents of Chicago have had enough. They're screaming for help from the federal government, and their political leaders are apparently so TDS'd out that they want to die on this hill. Andy, it's going to cost them, isn't it?
Oh, it is. It absolutely is. Look, there was actually just here in Wichita this past weekend, there was a candlelight vigil concert of the Black community here in Wichita that held a rally to end gun violence, because there's been an increase in gun violence here in Wichita, and it's been predominantly the younger generation that's been doing that in the Black community. And what did they do? They held a candlelight vigil. They did a concert, and they had speakers that included the Wichita police chief to come and talk about what they're trying to do to end violence. These communities who have been, they have this narrative that they're anti-cop and that they want to police their own communities and that they all are about these blue Democrats. They're realizing, wait a second. And this is why I said, read the room, bro, especially with this guy that's running for office that advocated for shooting a Republican in the head.
Unbelievable.
You have to read the room. The political climate right now is so against political violence. Everybody's talking about your side needs to calm down the rhetoric. No, your side needs to calm down the rhetoric. Everybody needs to calm down this rhetoric. We all need to start getting along. That's the narrative from the average American person who may or may not even be politically engaged. And for cartels, drug trafficking, human trafficking, gun violence to be continuing it on, these members of the community in Chicago especially, they do not want, especially the mama bears and the papa bears out there, do not want to see their kids die anymore. They do not want to see gang wars any longer, and it's out of their hands. They need something to be done. Local law enforcement, local city leaders have not done anything about it. So many of them are welcoming the Trump administration to come in and finally do it. The Democrats need to read the room and realize they are on the losing end of this issue. They are extremely unpopular in this issue, and if they're going to survive any election moving forward, they got to start figuring out what they actually stand for.
Yeah, and the political leadership, I think TDS is very real. I don't think they're ever going to see. I don't think they're going to be able to read the room. They believe
they're so blinded. They are so blinded.
They believe they're reading the room because they're caught up in this echo chamber of other TDS sufferers, many of whom reside in the mainstream media. And again, this is where the danger comes from, because they have dug in so far now, I don't think they can get out. It's like blood in, blood out at this point.
Well, no, they
There's
backed
no
themselves
getting
into
out.
a corner, and they have on every issue, Mark. They've done every on every issue from this one where, I mean, look at the government shutdown. How do they get out of a government shutdown when they voted to not pass a CR that's a clean CR? You have to retract what you've done, and that's going to be a major failure for Democrats.
It absolutely is, and there's going to be another vote tonight. The Democrats own all of this, ladies and gentlemen. And I got to tell you, it is fun to watch. It is fun to watch as they implode. We'll be right back with Andy. Camera is up. AC powering down. On-air light flashing.
This segment is brought to you by Attorneys on Retainer. Get the only self-defense program for gun owners backed by a real law firm, the Attorneys for Freedom. Visit them online at attorneysonretainer.us. Welcome back.
Yeah, welcome back, folks. This is another no-brainer for you, okay, is Attorneys on Retainer. My gosh, if you're carrying a firearm out there, you know bad things happen, you carry it, you get it. Have an attorney available to you immediately. Not after the fact that costs you hundreds or thousands of dollars an hour, but $35 a month. The Attorneys for Freedom law firm is the only law firm in the country that specializes in one thing only: keeping you out of the slammer if you have to defend your life. And an overzealous prosecutor says, well, that's not self-defense, especially if you live behind the blue wall. So please take advantage of it. I've got my card right here. There it is. Attorneys on Retainer. My kids, my wife, we all have Attorneys on Retainer. You should too. And it's really, really easy to do. Attorneysonretainer.us. Use the promo code AAR. Get $50 off the sign-up fee. $35 for an individual plan. $25 a head for families. Just do it. Pick the phone up. Call them. Ask them questions. The process is 15 to 20 minutes. And you've got an attorney in your hip pocket. Please. You can find them all at armedamericanradio.com. All of our great partners, by the way. And that includes Patriot Mobile, Barrel Buddy, Goat Guns. Feed your need for Goat Guns. Greg, I have an order of 7 coming to me. I don't even know what's in the package, brother. You know how excited I am to get that?
Incredibly.
They're sending me all some of their new stuff, some of their new releases, and I cannot wait to get my fat little fingers putting those things together, because it is an addiction, ladies and gentlemen. It really, truly is. Crossbreed holsters, Patriots Relief. I use that stuff just this morning. I use it every single day. The CBD stuff and the pain stuff. It works every single morning for me. Just knocks it right out. It's great. I wish I could get it to stop the pain every morning, but it stops it in the morning. But I wish I could get it stop it from occurring to begin with. Heaven's Harvest. They're all there. Car Arms, Defender Coffee, X Insurance, got you covered. Please visit all of our great partners at armedamericanradio.com. Andy Hooser, the voice of reason. Will you tell me if you agree with this statement? We are in the most dangerous political times, save for maybe antebellum America. Now, if you liberals don't know what that means, you can look it up, but it means pre-war, in this case, pre-Civil War. These are very, very dangerous times in this country, Andy Hooser. And the Democrats have dug in their heels, as we've been talking about. Their political leadership at every level, from mayors to council members, to governors, to Congress people, they've lost their minds. So much so it's driving Bill Maher crazy, Andy. I mean, that says something in and of itself. That Fetterman seems to be, and I'll use your deal here, it seems to be the voice of reason in the Democrat Party right now. Who'd have thunk it?
Yep.
Okay. But do you agree with that? Do you agree with that statement?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah. And it's, I'm trying to find an analogy of what would relate the Democrat Party to right now. It's almost like when you get dumped by your ex and you are so obsessed with hating on your ex as opposed to just moving on, but you're stewing in it, what went wrong, but then also wanting to go out and get the vengeance and start the drama. And if you have mutual friends, trying to start, to gossip and drama about them, with your friends that they know. So that way, at least, I mean, it's so obsessed that you forget reality, that you just need to move on and start your life and just live a happier, better life. That they're so entrenched in it. That's what they are with Donald Trump right now. And you're right, John Fetterman is we never thought that he would be it, but he is the reasonable voice in the Democrat Party right now. And I love the fact he just did an interview in the past week, I want to say, and they asked if he would be consider flipping to the Republican Party. And he said, no. He goes, I'm still a Democrat. Even though the Democrat Party is walking away from me, I'm going to be a voice in the Democrat Party. I'm going to call out whoever needs to be called out, and I'm going to continue to fight for what I believe in. And because of that mindset, that he's still a Democrat, but he's working with the Trump administration instead of just being anti-Trump administration, because he doesn't want the government to be shut down, because he's willing to work with Republicans to actually get things done. He has an 80% approval rating among people in Pennsylvania with Democrats, and a 60% approval rating among Republicans in Pennsylvania, because they realize he's not a flaming wacko. If the Democrats can't see that and say, wow, maybe we should take a page out of his book, then I don't know what to tell them, because right now they are still in the mindset that whether Donald Trump's policy works or doesn't work, it's bad, and therefore we should be against it. And our platform now is whatever Donald Trump is against, or vice versa. And it's not working for them. They have to realize that.
Yeah, and it's very important, ladies and gentlemen, that we point out this country needs a healthy opposing party. We have to have it.
We do.
We need a healthy Democrat Party. We need a party that we can disagree with on issues. But I'm old enough to remember those days. Okay, and while I couldn't stand them then, we had at least had a healthy party. There were patriots in that party. There were lots of patriots that every day when they got up, they just had a different vision for America. And that's what the country's all about. We have to have that. You don't believe me when I tell you, look, all you got to do is look at California. It doesn't matter what party's in power. If you've got one party in total control, it's eventually going to be a mess. You've got to have some
I'll take it another step
You've got to
further,
have some
Mark.
healthy debate. You have to. Go ahead, Andy. Please do.
You absolutely have to. I mean, look at on the other end of the spectrum, look at the state of Oklahoma, where it's completely dominated by Republicans. There are no Democrats essentially in the entire state, in the state legislature. There are many within that Republican Party in Oklahoma that are a complete disaster as well. So you're right. I always say on the radio, Democrats, help me help you. Listen to the opposition, listen to the outsider. Listen to the one that's trying to give you tips to be a healthy party so we can have a two-party system again, challenging each other and going back to the time to where we may disagree on how to solve an issue, but we're generally moving in the same direction to make the country a better place. We have to have that again. And the fact that we don't is good for us right now as Republicans, because they're throwing a fit and they're going to become irrelevant relatively soon.
Yeah.
But in the long term, the Republican Party can essentially end up toppling as well. And we're going to see the Republican Party lose its ability to govern if we don't hold ourselves accountable and we don't have a healthy, not a irrational, but a healthy challenge on our ideas in order to make sure that we know what we're doing.
Well, that's just competition in the free marketplace as well. Competition makes the market a better place. Competition makes competitors better. It gives us better products. It gives us better pricing. Okay, that's the way it works. We have to have that healthy base. Now, I'm going to go so far as to say, just not now, because I'm loving watching them implode. I really am. I'm having a wonderful time. I'm good with absolute power for a while. I mean, if there were another national election, they don't stand a chance right now. But where this gets down to is I don't see them fixing this anytime soon because they are so controlled by the money from the left. Schumer is absolutely a puppet of the left. He's got AOC coming after him. He's feeling the squeeze. And he's already a far left socialist Democrat, always has been. But we don't have time to go into the communist coming into New York, which will likely happen, ladies and gentlemen, and it will be an utter disaster for New York City. The guy is outed right now today, and Andy, I wish I had time to talk with you about it. I don't, unfortunately, but just to toss this out there. He's already caught. We know he wants to rid the nation of private property rights. He believes that all production should be controlled by the government, including transportation and communication. The guy is a communist, and he's got leading Democrats supporting him. Very dangerous, very scary times. Andy, you're coming up live here in just a few minutes. Tell people where they can find you and watch you, please, so they can tune you in, brother.
Yeah, absolutely. HooserReason.com. We got great radio stations, got the live stream up and going. It's going to be a fun one. We're going to cover all of this as well, plus the government shutdown update. So, Mark, I love you. Always a pleasure, brother. It's always fun.
Thanks for being here, brother. Listen, you're going to hear Andy Hooser sitting in for me on Wednesday and Thursday, or Wednesday only, and Christopher Hart on Thursday.
20.
Possibly an encore on Friday, so Greg can have a day off. We're working on that for him right now, feverishly behind the scenes. Ladies and gentlemen, I love you. Stay safe, please. Never leave your cave without your club. Enjoy what's left of your day. We'll see you on the radio tomorrow.
You just filled your prescription for freedom with Mark Walters, presented by the National Rifle Association. The National Rifle Association on the Armed American Radio Network.
All right, guys, thanks for tuning in today. Appreciate it very much. Enjoy your day. Stay safe. And a word of advice, public service announcement. Get your face out of all the social media. And what do they say? Touch grass, right? Go do something fun this evening. Stay out of it. It's not healthy at all. And I believe it or not, I'm trying to do my level best to do that too, but because of the nature of what I do, it's very difficult to do. But nonetheless, I'm trying. You should do the same thing. Okay? So stay safe out there, guys. We love you. See you on the radio tomorrow.